This video is about finding the inverse of a matrix. So if there is a matrix A, the inverse of the matrix will be given by A and minus 1 on top of that, which is a inverse. So I will find the inverse of a 3 cross 3 matrix. Suppose there is a matrix given by B is equal to 2 2 1 minus 1 0 minus 1 and 1 3 0. The task is to find the inverse of this matrix. Now the inverse of the matrix can be found out as by this formula, which is the adjacent of B divided by delta B, which is equal to the B inverse. So the adjacent of B is equal to, there is a specific way to find the adjacent of the matrix, so I will just write down how to find each element of the adjacent of the matrix. So what will be my A11 for my adjacent of the matrix will be given by this. So I'll write it here 0 3 minus 1 0. So A11 is what is my just taking another matrix to solve this. So my matrix B is equal to minus 1 3 minus 1 and 1 minus 1 3 and 2 1 4. So B inverse is equal to adjacent of B divided by delta B. So how to find the adjacent of the matrix can be found out by following these steps. The matrix can be written as minus 1 1 3 4. So I will have to solve this, what forms of this, and this will give me what is my A11 for my matrix which is adjacent. So transpose of this will be my adjacent, and the same way by considering this I will have to consider this and this. So in that way I will have to write it here. So it is 3 of minus 1 and 1 of 4, and in this way if you can make out, then it is 3 minus 1 and minus 1 3, and this will be 1 3 and 2 4. So while I am doing for my, this was my row 1, while I considered this row, and in the same way as to finding the determinants I took each value of the column 1 and then I found out the multiplication by considering what was there in the other columns. If you consider it in the same way to solve this, then for the row 2 of the adjacent matrix, or the transpose of the adjacent matrix, what you will have to take is, you will have to take this row and you will have to consider it in such a way that if you are writing it like this, it will be like 3 minus 1 and 1, and then minus 1 1 2 and minus 1 3 4. There's no need to write it in this way, but just to make it understand. So now you will take this 3 and you will consider this 2, you will take 1 and you can consider this 2, and you will take 1 and you can consider this 2, in the same way like the determinant is found. So writing for it, it can be written as minus 1 and 2 4 and minus 1 and 1 3. And in the same way, finding for the other terms, it is, so while considering for the row 3, you'll have to take this and you'll have to form from multiplication from the above two. So if I'm considering for this, I will consider these two in such a way. So it will be 1 minus 1 2 1 and minus 1 3 and 2 1 and minus 1 3 and 1 minus 1. So when I am solving for this, I will have to multiply this and add, multiply this and add, multiply this and add. So what I will get is minus 4 minus 3 12 plus 1 and 9 minus 1 and 4 minus 6 and minus 4 plus 2 and minus 3 plus 1 and 1 plus 2 and minus 1 minus 6 and 1 minus 3. So now there is a change in sign which is needed. So while I'm finding my adjacent still, and the transpose of this will give my adjacent, so after doing this, the next step, so if this was my first step to find the adjacent and this was the second step, then I will have to put the sign such that the sign will be plus minus plus, and this will be minus plus minus, and this will be plus minus plus again, so in an alternating sequence. So what this will give me is, this will give me my adjacent is equal to minus 7. So I will have to multiply this plus with this, so only I have to, so this is already minus, so when I am multiplying it with plus, the sign won't change. So again minus 13 8 and minus 2 3, minus and minus of 2 will become plus 2 and 3 and plus of 2 and 3 minus of 7, which will come plus of 7 and minus of 2. So transpose of this will give me my adjacent of B, which is equal to, I am taking the transpose, then my rows will become my columns. So this is minus 7 minus 13 8 and 2 3 2 and 3 7 minus 2. So what I have found here, so if this was my step 2, this was my step 3 and this was my step 4, then what I have found here is my adjacent of B, and my B inverse is equal to adjacent of B divided by delta B. So when I will find the delta of this, it will be -1 into -4 -3 -1 of 12 plus 1, and finally 2 of 9 minus 1. So this is equal to what is my 7 minus 12 plus 16, which is equal to 10, which comes equal to 7 and of minus 13 here and 16, which is equal to 10. So my delta or mode delta or determinant of B is 10. So my adjacent is equal to finding the adjacent. So this was step 5 and finding the adjacent by this formula. So B inverse is equal to the 1 upon 10 into dividing the whole matrix of -7 -13 and 8 and 2 3 2 and 3 7 minus 2 by 10. What I will get is I will get B inverse, which is equal to minus of 0.7, 0.2, 0.3, minus 1.3, 0.3, 0.7 and 0.8, 0.2 and minus of 0.2. So this is what is my B inverse. So this is how to find, and this is, if I say this is my 6th step, and then this is how in 6 steps it's possible to find inverse of a 3 cross 3 matrix. Again, to find the inverse, you will have to check that the delta of that matrix should not be equal to 0, or the delta B, whichever you have found, should not be equal to 0, otherwise this will go to infinity and it's not possible, or the inverse of the matrix don't exist. So that's the first step. So this is, which I have said is 5th step, is usually the first step which you will have to do, and you will have to say that the delta is not equal to 0, otherwise the inverse of the matrix will not exist.